Hello Super Sentai fans and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today I'm finally taking a look at the deluxe Omikoshi Phoenix from Avataro Sentai Donbrothers. So this is pretty interesting because this doubles as both the final kind of mecha combination thing for the show, but it also doubles as our annual power-up item for our main Red Ranger here. So it's a pretty cool thing. If you have a lot of Donbrothers toys, it's definitely going to be something you're going to want to pick up because it can combine with DonOnitaijin, it has a gear, it can combine with the Donblaster. There's a lots of stuff to do here. So as you can see here, well, this is actually an empty box. The toy's been out of here for at least a week and a half. I just haven't gotten a chance to do this video until now. So as you can see, you have the nice, very beautiful picture of the Omikoshi Phoenix there. You can see all the very nice chrome that the toy has, which does really pop in person. You have the helmet look here of the Goldon Onitaijin kind of mecha combination there. And then the gear, which I think is just a gear for Goldon Onitaijin. I'm not exactly sure what the specific name of that gear, but you do get an included gear here, which is one of the few times that the toy line actually seems to acknowledge that the gears are kind of a thing. They kind of feel like they've sort of fallen to the wayside here. But on the side, you do have a look at that combination there of Goldon Onitaijin, which of course we're going to be making in this video. Unfortunately, I'm just going to go ahead and say it here at the beginning, I cannot make the final combination, the Toradora Goldon Onitaijin Kiwami or whatever, that combines both main mechas with this Phoenix. Because I don't have Toradora Gojin. I should probably get it at some point, and if I ever do, I'll do that combination in that video, if that even ever happens, but I don't really want that toy, to be perfectly honest with you. But right here, we have a picture of Goldon Momotaro. It's a very cool sketch of it in the combination with the Donblaster, which adds a significant amount of weight to the Donblaster, but it also is just really, really cool, as you can see over here. So here is kind of the back of the box with Goldon Momotaro, which is a fantastic pun, by the way, as well. I absolutely love that. And there it is on top of the Donblaster. And then this really cool picture here of the Senpaiger. So you have all the team leaders from Gokaiger through Zenkaiger, because the whole kind of thing with this toy is that it has one of those infrared scanner readers in the toy, just like those do, which allow you to have some special sounds with some special gears. Now, one thing to show off for sure here is the actual instruction manual for the toy. So there is the PDF QR code you can scan to get that, which basically just shows you like how to use it with the Donblaster, how to combine it with DonOnitaijin. I don't know exactly what QR code that is for, but maybe for the same thing, or maybe that's just like Sentai toys in general. But there's another QR code up there with Goldon Momotaro and Goldon Onitaijin, and then on the back, or the bottom, I guess, nothing too exciting there, just legal stuff. But like I said, this box is completely empty, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Omikoshi Phoenix in the gear that it comes with, and we're going to show off all of its main features in the toys that you're supposed to use it with. So here is the Omikoshi Phoenix out of the box, and right here I have it in kind of the Donblaster combination mode. So in the box it is in a couple different pieces, because being a Sentai Mecha piece, it does separate into a bunch of different pieces there. But yeah, this is one of my favorite Donbrothers toys probably. I think what they've been able to do with the QR code, or not the QR code, the infrared scanner stuff with these toys has just been really, really fascinating, and this toy is no exception. I also think it's really impressive, and I kind of talked about this, I think, in my Memorial Edition Gokai Cellular review, that they've really been able to get a lot of functionality out of these toys more recently with only 3 LR44 batteries, the tiny little like circular watch ones, which are included with this toy. So I do have the tab back in here just so I can show that off. But it's right there, so the battery compartment is right there. You take the tab out. So now the toy is on. It's very loud, it's very cool. There's a lot of cool sounds there. As you can see, that chrome is incredibly reflective. There I am high, there I am in the chrome, right there with the phone and everything recording this video. But I love the pattern on there. You get like the wave effects and the Donbrothers logo. So then to kind of turn it into the full Phoenix, you just kind of, extend the wings out. And there it is. There is the Omikoshi Phoenix. And I love the design of this whole thing up there. You kind of get the whole sunglasses thing. You get like this blaster. The whole thing is kind of done in that sort of dull gold plastic. I don't know why. I did not mean to do that. There we go. So I guess if you hold the button, it will go ahead and try to do the combination sound. But there are some sounds when you click that button back there. So I think it cycles through 3 sounds of like a bird screeching and some blasting effects. And as you can see, there's a cool light up there with this. And I do like all those kind of translucent blue plastic pieces there, like the button back here, which is the same kind of Donbrothers peach symbol, which I think is pretty neat. And then you have, there, I bumped it again. This right here is the release tab button for when you have it on the Donblaster. Obviously, as you can see here, the head is just kind of chilling underneath there. It's kind of the tail. But also these wings can continue to fold in. You don't have to fold them in that far for really any explicit purpose. But there's no like mouth opening or anything like that. This is just some buttons for like separating pieces and stuff like that, which we'll get to. But that's kind of all it does on its own. I mean, it's still a cool toy. I would not recommend it on its own. You really need to have either the Donblaster or Dononitaijin, but preferably both of them to really get the full functionality out of this toy. But it's really cool. If you're a changer collector, you're going to want this. But if you're also a mecha collector, you're going to want this. It's just one of those things where you're going to have to pick. Do you want it combined with Dononitaijin on your display, or do you want it combined with the Donblaster on your display? And for me, I am more of the changer kind of collector kind of guy than the mecha collector. But I do have Dononitaijin, so it does work out in that regard. I just don't have, like I said earlier, Toradora Goujin to actually make the full final combination. But still, what you can do with this is pretty cool. So I'll kind of put this off to the side because we're going to bring in the Donblaster first to show that off before Dononitaijin. And then you do get this gear, which is a Robotaro gear for the combination. So it's just one of those translucent gold plastic gears with a kanji there, which looks pretty cool. And this is gear number 128, so it's one of those Donbrothers exclusive sounds. Now I am going to go ahead and show it off before I do the full combining technique and everything with both of these toys. So here is the Donblaster before we put anything before we attach the Phoenix to it. So it's one of those. So it's one of those secret sounds where it just kind of arrows out. But it's really fascinating here. I think that's the same thing that the Toradora Goujin Robotaro Gear did as well. But what's really cool about this is that same thing up here at the top, like you have with the infrared scanner right there, that the Zonglass sword really takes advantage of. Just as that toy knew what gear you put in here to make special lights, this toy has a scanner in it to know what gear you have in here to make special sounds. And what's really, really cool about that is that it kind of like unlocks new sounds that are not something you can get typically. So like this gear actually does do something different than just say secret when you have it, with the bird attached. And if you remember from my earlier videos on like the Ruko no Geki and the Tiger Dora, those gears for Don Jirgoku and Don Torbolt were just read as like new hero gears in here, as most Six Ranger stuff does in the main changer. However, the Phoenix knows Don Jirgoku and Don Torbolt, so it actually does read those properly, which I'll take a look at once we combine it. But of course, speaking of the Tiger Dora, I do want to bring that in as well. So here it is. Let's see, am I going to spin it the correct direction this time? Because I never do. I did it. So it knows that it's a Robotaro gear, but it gives you that same kind of secret sound in there. So there is that. Now, of course, it's pretty much time to go ahead and combine the Omikoshi Phoenix with the Donblaster. So for this, all you have to do, and we knew that there was going to be something for this toy because even though we've had this infrared scanner finisher button up here the whole time, there's just this obvious track up there, which was always going to clearly be for something. And now we finally have that something. So as you can see, you have a matching kind of track down there, and you can even see the infrared scanner right there that is going to line up to that finisher button. And it's going to essentially act as if you are just activating the finisher. So we'll just go ahead and take it, line it up. And there it is. So it does technically activate the finisher for like a brief second. And then to kind of complete the look, you fold these down over the sort of sunglass look on the Donblaster. But now in the show, which, I should probably try to pan this up a little bit. In the show, he does extend these for like when he does kind of like the finisher. So you have this really cool effect, which is just pretty big to show off on camera. But you do have this really cool effect with like the Phoenix just, being so menacing on the top of the Donblaster. And like, obviously there's no like metal or anything in this toy, but like it's just such a hunk of plastic that it adds a significant amount of weight to the top of the Donblaster, and it makes it feel very substantial. I really, really like that. So it just looks super cool. Now I am going to kind of bring this back down a little bit because I'm going to try to show off gears in here. Now, I know I'm going to miss stuff because there's a ton of gears that can do stuff with this toy, but the main ones I'm going to show off in this video is obviously I'm going to show off Don Momotaro because we're going to get the Goldon Momotaro sound out of this, and then there is that functionality with the Senpaiger, which actually allow the Goldon Momotaro to attach the Goldon armor to previous Sentai suits or previous Sentai reds, which is really, really neat. So I will do that. I will show off the Gokaiger through Zenkaiger sounds. I will do one Legend Sentai one that is before Gokaiger, just to show you the generic sound of that. I will do the Donbrothers, all 7 of them, including Torbolt with Don Dragoku. And then I think one Alter Gear, and I think then that will call it. And then of course the gear that comes with the toy, I will test that one out as well, before we do the actual combination with Don Onitaijin. So, to go ahead and start, I have down here the Don Momotaro Sentai Gear or Avataro Gear. So to do the actual transformation into Goldon Momotaro, you can use that gear and you just use the Donblaster as you typically would. But you do get a special standby now with this attached. You do get a special standby once again. And there it is. So that is the actual transformation sound for Goldon Momotaro. Now typically to do finishers you would click the party time button up there and it would do party time, and then you would do it. But to do a finisher here, all you have to do is click that peach button back there that made the bird screeches when he was in the Phoenix mode. And there is that. Now I'm pretty sure we'll just do the same thing if you do it again. And if you hold it, it won't do anything. And if you just try to spin this again, it will just reset to that finisher. Now what is cool though, is that, well, this is probably a bad example, but turning on and off the toy again resets it. Because it's, you know, scanning that infrared scanner sound or emission or whatever signal, I guess, between the Donblaster to this. So this is really cool. Like I said, that it really just adds a lot of functionality to this. Now the Donblaster could kind of stand up on its own. As you can see, I'm holding this the entire time because this cannot. There's just too much weight to let it, you know, rest on its own. Now I'm also very curious. We have that leak from an upcoming. We don't actually have pictures of it yet, but we know we're getting a Memorial Edition Donblaster sometime next year. I don't know how that would work. I would really hope that you could still use the Omikoshi Phoenix, but obviously this is scaled to like cover the sunglasses look and everything on the regular deluxe. But yeah, if you have the Donblaster, see, I've always liked the Donblaster, but I had kind of gotten sort of tired of it over time. I just don't like it as much as the Zenkaiger stuff, but this has kind of rejuvenated my interest in this toy. It's something you really do need to have with it. But I'm going to now just kind of jump cut between all the different sounds here that I'm going to show off that I listed I was going to show off, starting with the rest of the Donbrothers. So that's pretty cool. So as you just saw, the other 4 Donbrothers have this same exact generic main transformation sound, and then it kind of does their little unique thing at the end. But this is what I was talking about earlier in the video, to where typically if you put the Dandra Goku and Dondorbal gears in this gun, it doesn't do anything, it just says new hero, but here it actually said Dandor Goku, and it gave it kind of a somewhat unique sound. And Torbolt is going to do the same thing, so let's go ahead and grab Don Torbolt, put it in there. So now we have all the Senpaiger to go through. So like I said, just Gokaiger through Zenkaiger have special sounds, but they are pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get to this part of the video. Now here's what I'm going to do for this. So just to show you, I wanted to show you one initial transformation with a Senpaiger gear. Now for those, it's going to do the same kind of thing, and that's the sound of basically the armor from Goldon Momotaro being placed onto an older Sentai suit. So in this case, like that would be Gokai Red getting the armor. What is really cool and what gives the Senpaiger unique sounds in here, besides them obviously this way of recognizing them in some capacity, is the finisher button. So for Gokaiger onwards, just like how they did with the Ruko no Geki and the Zanglass Sword, which had finisher sounds from like the Zanglass Sword had like the final wave sound, and the Ruko no Geki had like the Gokai Spear sound for 6 Rangers. This one here has sort of the finisher sound for like team blasters. So when you click the finisher for Gokaiger, it's going to give you the standby sound of the Gokai Galleon Buster, and then going forward, you can kind of just take that and apply that to any other Sentai after Gokaiger. So for after Gokaiger, I'm going to show off just the finishers and not the initial transformations, because they're going to be the same as this one, just replace like Kaizoku Sentai with Tokume Sentai or Juden Sentai or whatever it may be. So here's the finisher. So that's the standby from the Gokai Galleon Buster. And then finally, for the Senpaiger, we have Zenkaiger. So there's one more transformation, and then the finisher. Alrighty, so that is the Senpaiger from Gokaiger through... Oh, there he goes. Wow, he fell straight into the bin, actually. That was actually incredibly impressive. But going forward here, I do want to show off. Let me grab the other gear to show them off. So I have an Alter Gear, and I have a non-Senpaiger Legend Gear. So here is Go Ranger, which if you're curious, certain gears like 2 Kaiser, which actually have a distinct sound in the Donblaster, do not necessarily have one in the Omikoshi Phoenix. I assume Stay Caesar's the same way, and stuff like that. But obviously, like I said earlier, there are going to be gears that I'm not showing off in this video. It would take like multiple hours to do that, but I'm just kind of trying to get the main basics across with this. So this is what happens when you use an Alter Gear or a regular gear for a Legend Sentai not from Gokaiger onward. So it's just as a generic Super Sentai there, and then for the finisher. It just does a sort of generic Legend sound there, which I get it that they wouldn't program in all those. I think it is really cool that they gave you those unique sounds from different team cannons and Red Ranger power-up weapons from Gokaiger onward. But it would have been cool to have it for other seasons as well, but like, I get it. And then using an Alter Gear here, I just have Goldon Momotaro Alter to show off. So for that one, it just actually gives you the same transformation as Goldon Momotaro. And then I did lie, there's one more gear I'll show off, and that is a Legend Alter Gear. So here it's just Legend Geoger. It's just like the first one that I grabbed out of the bin. So that's unique. So I don't think it said Wonder the last time for the regular one. However, that's virtually exactly the same as the regular one. But I don't think it said Wonder the first time, so I guess Alter Gears are slightly different. But yeah, I hope that that's gotten the point across of all the insane amount of sounds that are in the Omikoshi Phoenix. So now let's take the actual gear that this toy comes with the Phoenix attached to the Donblaster, and the final thing I do in this video before I combine it with DonOnitaijin is to initiate that transformation. So this gear acts essentially as basically like the regular DonOnitaijin gear or like the regular Avataro Gear. But combined with the Omikoshi Phoenix, it no longer says secret. It actually does the like actual transformation sound for Goldon Onitaijin. So there he is, he's up there. So, and then for the finisher, alright, so now we can take this gear out of the gun because we're going to need it, and then we'll go ahead and take the gun off of here. So you just fold the wing up, and then you just take that off with that blue tab, And now let's somehow try to fit into the frame here, DonOnitaijin, and combine it with the Omikoshi Phoenix. Okay, so I think this would work. At least I think so. So basically, what is kind of handy in terms of trying to make this fit into the frame is that nothing happens lower than like the arms for this combination. So should be able to be relatively easy to take Omikoshi Phoenix and combine it with DonOnitaijin in this case. Obviously you can see here a little bit of the Toku Topics neon sign that's above the review station that you see in the background of typical reviews and stuff like that. So before we prep the Omikoshi Phoenix, which I don't really do Sentai Mecha videos too often, there's not enough space, but all you have to do is I have the swords up here in this combination, so you have to take the swords from wherever you have them currently. You're going to want to take these off of the chest like that. Now I am going to try to make this fit as best as possible, and I'm moving away from the microphone, but I want to make sure his heels are stationary enough so that he'll actually stand. And in fact, I'm going to move the microphone a little bit. Hopefully the audio isn't making it sound completely terrible while I'm doing that. But now I'm going to stand up and try to do it this way. So let's go ahead and prep the Omikoshi Phoenix. So to do so, you're going to take this piece back off of the back of kind of the wing. And then that tab I showed you earlier, that's going to unpeg like that. And then you're going to take this, I'm clicking buttons, you're going to click this off of that. And that's all you have to do in that regard. And then what is pretty cool is that this is going to make sort of like a staff thing. And as you can see here, this is the same kind of port that's on the Enya Ride-On, that's on the Ruko no Geki. So any kind of Sentai gear. Also, we found out in that one video that this is actually Zord Builder compatible. So if you have some Bandai America stuff and want to play around with that, you can do so. But just like the Ruko no Geki, there is a button there that the gear is going to activate. And that is, of course, going to be the gear that is included with the toy. So we're not going to do that just yet. But what we are going to do is grab the two swords and clip them together like that. And then I'm going to click that button like 100 more times. Oh, that's going to activate it, isn't it? I did not think that through. Okay, so don't do that just yet because I forgot that that's going to activate it. Then you're also going to need one other piece from this, which I think you can just, yank it right off. If that wasn't in frame, let me try that again. There it is, just like that. So you're going to need this piece, and we'll put that off to the side. And then for this, you're going to rotate these up like that. And then very simply, that's just going to clip in to the chest of DonOnitaijin. And I'm going to try to bring the camera up a little bit more. It wants to like slowly fall down because this tripod is kind of broken. So, but we really only need this hand. But I'm just going to pop the hand off because sometimes it's kind of difficult to get this to work properly to hold the weapon. And then of course we have the new head piece there, which is just going to somehow, there we go, clip into the pre-existing headpiece on DonOnitaijin. So nothing too crazy there. It's totally falling this entire time, isn't it? I see the camera just angling down. Okay, maybe that works. And then going from there, we're going to take the chest pieces from DonOnitaijin, and they're going to clip in to there, like so. And then I actually do need the other fist. So if it's not inherently obvious, this is going to be the head sculpt for the final combination. I don't actually even know how you get it out of there, but it is in there. But for this combination, it's going to be a weapon. It's going to be a shield specifically. So you take the left hand of DonOnitaijin, and then just like you did with the swords in the original toy, try to, it doesn't usually want to line up, but like, I do believe you can slot it into the same kind of tab that the swords held. So something like that, and then we'll reattach the Saru Brother hand so that you do have that very dinky, it's very tiny, a little shield he's got going on there, but it's something. And then for here, we're going to go ahead and take the swords, the base of them, and clip them in like that, which is really cool. It forms this really awesome like stand piece. And then I'm going to go ahead back here, and you just have to, it's a little hard to do so, but you just fold out. Oh, I forgot about this piece. Yeah, you just fold that tab up so you can actually get this grip out, which, like I said, it's a little tricky to do so. You kind of have to like pull it out like that. And then I haven't really ever been able to get this to slot in like perfectly. It's supposed to, but that you want it to hold. And then we'll go ahead and now initiate the transformation sound for this. So combine the swords together with the bottom of this thing. see, and the hand came unpegged again. Almost there. Okay, so combine the staff, and then to make this stop, you're going to take the gear. And there we have Goldon Onitaijin. So this is pretty cool. I think it adds some pretty cool armor to the whole toy here. I love that there's no pieces left over, even though this is kind of a very dinky shield, like I said, at least they tried. I love that the swords are still incorporated into this staff. I love that the gear is incorporated, that's really cool. And of course you have this now beautiful chest piece, which I think you can kind of do whatever you want with it. It's supposed to be out like this, to where it's like kind of at an angle. Let me just double check it, just to make sure. But yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. So yeah, it's definitely taking up a lot of space. In the review station, this is kind of how I intend on displaying the Omikoshi Phoenix combined here with DonOnitaijin. But yeah, that's as much of it as I can show. I unfortunately, like I said earlier in this video, cannot do the final combination because I do not have Toragora Dojin to show that off, unfortunately. But if you have DonOnitaijin, this is pretty cool. And with that, that is going to do it for my review of the deluxe Omikoshi Phoenix from Avataro Sentai Donbrothers. So like I said earlier in this video, this is a really cool, I think basically must-have toy in this toy line, especially if you have the deluxe Donblaster or deluxe DonOnitaijin. It's perfect for changer collectors, it's perfect for mecha collectors. I love the combination here, and of course you can only expand on this. It has a ton of functionality with the Donblaster and a whole array of special Avataro Gear sounds in there. And really, if you've been collecting either toy line for kind of, the two different main things that Donbrothers has been going for, you're going to have something to add for your collection here with the Omikoshi Phoenix. So until next time, you guys can actually buy one of these for yourself. I believe it is still in stock on HLJ, and there will be an affiliate link to it in the description below, which if you use that link to get it, it will help out the channel. And of course, you can check out a ton of other video reviews on this channel for different Avataro Gear stuff and Avataro Gear, I get a little tongue twisted, Avataro Sentai Donbrothers toys in general. So until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LandingFigPR, and I'll see you all next time.